All right, this is still 5.3 part 2. We're still looking at slope-intercept form. So again, just to remind you, that's y equals mx plus b. All right, my slope is the m, and where it crosses the y-axis is the b. All right, so when we're trying to find, when we're given 2 points, and 2 points really, right, that's our x1, y1, and our x2, y2. It's going to be 2 ordered pairs, and we're going to try to write this equation from 2 points that we may be given. All right, the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to find the slope. And you practiced this earlier in the chapter, like 5.1, 5.2, where you did the y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. All right, and you do that and you find your rise over run. You find your fraction, right? And you want to keep your answer as a fraction, all right? So that's our slope. Once you find your slope, we're going to take that and we're going to plug it in. So whatever you get for here, we're going to plug it in to our equation, y equals mx plus b, and then we're going to solve for our b, all right? So we're starting to get into more complex algebra, which is kind of exciting, right? And then we're going to write that intercept form of the equation, replacing both m and b at the very end once we find our b, all right? And then we'll check our work, make sure things make sense. So let's go ahead and look at an example, all right? So if we look at example 1, we got ourselves 2 points here. All right, here's my 2 points. And we labeled them. Always label your points. You might think you got it, and let me tell you, I've been doing this for years, and I still always label my points. x1, y1, x2, y2. That way I can easily plug it into this equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I can just find, okay, my y2 is 7 minus my y1 is 4. See how easy it is to find it? I don't have to think. I got it right there. I can see. x2 is 5 and my x1 is 2. Great. So now we're going to find that slope real quick like we did in the previous section. 7 minus 4. 3, and you can always use a calculator to check your integer addition and subtraction. 5 minus 2, 3. Ah, excellent. Okay, so now I got 1. How great is that? All right, my slope is 1. Now, because it's going to be a rise over run, I like to throw a 1 under it. It doesn't change it, right? 1 divided by 1 is still 1. So I'm going to rise 1, run 1. So that's why I like to keep my m in this form. So remember, we're looking for m. See, m is our slope. So we find our slope using this y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And now I got my slope. My m is 1. So now that I know my m is 1, right, I need a point to use. Well, it's your choice. You can use this point or that point for this problem. I always like to use the first one. It's just my preference. So I'm going to use, for this problem, 2, 4. Okay? So remember, this first part is my x, and the second part is my y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some substituting, right? And that's what we're looking at now. I'll put this in pink. We're going to substitute m, and we're going to substitute this 2 and 4 for x and y. Okay, so remember how we had y equals mx plus b? Okay, well, what's my y? My y is 4, so I can write 4. M, we found it earlier, my m is 1. X, so if there's nothing there, it's a times, right? So my x is 2. So 1 times 2. And then I got a plus b plus, oh, we don't have a b yet because that is what we're looking for, okay? So now, let's simplify things up. I got 4 equals, well, what is 1 times 2? 2. And then I still have my plus b, okay? We want to solve for b. Our goal is to get b all by itself, right? So our goal here is, goal to get b all by itself. Leave me alone, positive 2. So this b wants to be by itself, so we can solve for it. Leave me alone, positive 2. So what's the opposite of a positive 2? Draw our line. You said it. Negative 2. Whatever you do to one side, gotta do to the other. All right? Good. So now, these cancel out. We're left with b equals, what's 4 minus 2? 2. So now I know my b. Okay? So now it says write the equation in slope-intercept form. Well, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So y equals, what was my m? My m was 1. So 1x plus, what was my b? b equals 2. So b, nope, not b, 2. We're not writing b, we're going to write what it's, we're going to substitute b. We're going to replace b with what we found. b is 2. So there's our, there's our equation. Okay? So now we can check our work. And when it says check your work, all you got to do is substitute your points in. So we got 2, 4. And then we got 5, 7 to check. All right? So let's see if that works. Is 1 times x, so x here, x, y, right? X, y. So 1 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Plus 2, that's 4. Well, this right here equals 4. It checks out. Let's try it over here. Y is 7 equals 1 times 5 plus 2. So 1 times 5 is 5 plus 2. That equals 7. It checks out. I'm sorry, that wasn't showing there. So let me go over that one more time. Sorry about the camera not showing that. So we're just plugging it in. So x, we got our 2 points from before up here, right, that we used. So we got 1 times 2 is 2, plus 2 gives me my y 4. And then I got my 5, 7. So I put in 1 times 5 is 5, plus 2, there's my 7. So it checked out as well. Okay, so you get the pleasure of trying this out on your own. So go ahead and pause it, and then the next video will be if you need more help. Okay, I'll have 2 more examples if you need them. And if not, get to work, and I can help you one-on-one too if you'd like. All right, take care.